But Call and Response is my big collaboration project. And and that's part of Shoebox. I
Okay.
started that in 2020 during the pandemic. And my team at the time, I had a couple of employees working with me with Shoebox. We sat down and we're like, how can we keep artists sane or as sane as possible during this time, connected, creating art?
Welcome to What's My Thesis. I'm Javier Proenza, and today my guest is Kristine Shomaker. How you doing, Kristine?
Hey, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited. We're like neighbors.
I know.
You're at the brewery.
Yes, it took 4 minutes to get here. A little traffic.
Yeah, and maybe we're getting too much into your personal shit, but I'm trying to recruit you as my climbing buddy.
Yes.
Because there's some activities to be had at the brewery if you are so inclined to do.
At the climbing gym.
At the climbing gym, yeah. I just outed where my gym.
Oh,
But you know who goes there? I forget what his name is, but the guy did you ever watch Barry, the TV show on HBO?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, okay, then never mind. The guy who plays Hollywood Hank.
Oh, okay.
He was just in the new Superman movie as what's his name? Metamorpho.
Oh, I actually haven't seen that. And I love Superman. I love Batman. And, I'm a huge Marvel, DC, and, I don't have alliances.
I'm a DC guy. I feel like DC's going through what Marvel went through, which is like, so there's this guy that's Tom King, who's like a former CIA guy.
Uh-huh.
And all he does is torture all the characters. Like he did it to Mr. Miracle. He did this beautiful run that was super romantic about Batman. Have you been reading recently?
No.
Okay. So he did this beautiful run. It was romantic where they're like jumping on the rooftops, him and Catwoman, and they're like, it's leading up to this wedding, and then they don't get married. It's like, and I feel like Marvel in the 70s was kind of infiltrated by a lot of like pro-war kind of, helicarriers and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about Marvel. So you are an artist, and you also have you just told me like a bunch of different projects that I forgot were affiliated with you, but are they all the things that you run?
Yes.
Are any of them official 501c or they're just like labors of love that are not quite at the level where you're doing that?
Yes and no.
Because you need a board. For people that don't know, you need a board, so it's like a commitment.
Yeah. So I run Shoebox Arts, which is an artist support network. And that's going on actually in February. It'll be 12 years. So our 12-year anniversary.
Wow, you make me feel like a neophyte. I think that's how you use that word. And that's what that means. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. And then I started Art and Cake, which is my online art magazine. And that'll be going on 10 years in July.
Wow, dude.
And then, I know. It's crazy.
This is an episode I clearly can't bitch about podcasting. I have one project. Go ahead. And then, so Art and Cake, what's that? That's your catalog or online magazine?
Yeah, my online art magazine. And then, so I run Shoebox Projects, which is an alternative art space at the brewery at my space. And then...
is this like... Because there are galleries there. Is this a hybrid where there's like a showing space and then you have a living space?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
Hybrid. Yep,
See how I didn't assume it was an apartment because I've been to those spaces?
Yeah.
Where's it in relation to East Side?
To the gym?
Oh, yeah, where is it in relation to the gym?
Right next door.
Okay.
I'm like, when you walk through the gate where you park, I'm the first building on the right, the brick building, and then you have the gym building.
Oh my God.
So I had no excuse for not joining the gym.
Oh, wow. Well, dude, I was just like out there to the gym because I've been skipping I've been lazy. And I was like, well, first of all, you are like literally closer to the I-95 than I am, and that must be intense. Do you like we were talking, we get this dust that comes from tires in this area, which is super intense. I was amazed that I could just brush it off, that I wasn't caked on and stuck. But yeah, and then, yeah, it's so nice out there. Like, it's like, there's not a lot of places like that where you can like hang out outside on tables and there's like people, there's like a community vibe. I think I'm gonna start doing my editing over there.
It's the I-5 also.
Oh, it's the I-5. What did I say? 95?
Yeah.
I've been in Miami.
I was gonna say. Yeah.
The ocean on the other side.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, so tell me a little bit more about you have how many more projects?
Well, I started January Arts, which is a nonprofit. And that I started that actually in 2018 because I wanted to go the nonprofit route. I wanted to be able to apply for grants and get money to support artists in different ways.
You can support different kinds of arts than when you're in the market.
Exactly. And so we got the nonprofit. It kind of sat there for a while because I just didn't have the bandwidth. I was doing so many different things that, I had to kind of put it on the back burner.
How did you handle the board thing? Sorry.
Who was the board?
It's you and your mom and like
It was me and a couple of friends.
Okay.
So what happened was a couple of years ago, we decided to it's gone through changes and we haven't announced it officially, and I guess maybe this is going to be it. But I wanted to do artist mentorship through January Arts. And we had a big launch party couple years ago now. It was amazing. Tons of people were there. We raised a little bit of money, and then a couple of months later, I just realized it wasn't sustainable to mentor artists. Not with what I was doing. I had already started Shoebox. I was going to flip Shoebox, move Shoebox to January Arts.
Okay.
And I just realized that it was very complicated and it wasn't going to work.
That's interesting to me. Are artists unmentorable? Were they being difficult?
No. It didn't have anything to do with the artist.
What was the original ambitions, though? Because and then what did, if it's okay to discuss your, not failures, but your realignments. I do it on the podcast all the time. I used to not even know how to say people's names before I introduced them.
No, totally. I'm an open book, basically. So
okay. So then what was the original ambition with the mentoring, and how did you perceive that? And then what was it that was not? Because that's interesting to me. You have like an ambition, like, starting a podcast, hoping to make money, and then you don't make money.
Yeah.
And then you have to sort of reconfigure and figure out how you're going to make it sustainable and all of that. So like, I'm interested in these sort of like, and I think it's good for people to learn from other people's stuff.
Definitely. My original idea was to be able to mentor artists without them having to pay.
Okay.
Because a lot of artists don't have money. And a lot of artists, there's so many talented artists out there who, marginalized artists, just from all walks of life, from, that just can't afford it.
Yeah.
And so I want to be able to help those artists. And so I thought creating the nonprofit would help bring those artists in. And it didn't necessarily. I realized, I think it was the whole management part of it also. Like, how would I bring in money to pay my rent and, to have food and I wasn't bringing in the money, that way. And so, and also Shoebox, we were doing, we do artist PR and, things that aren't under the nonprofit, because you can't really do PR under a nonprofit. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because it's a profitable business. It's a profitable thing.
Oh, I guess I can't be a nonprofit because all I do is art PR.
Podcasts you can.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
I guess maybe the PR is different how you do it. What do you mean by doing PR? Because I basically promote artists. So I consider myself not a journalist, but an art PR person.
Yeah. But you promote the artists that you are on your podcast, right? So you're promoting your podcast. So I actually promote artists who have shows in other places.
Oh, and they are profitable in those other endeavors. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
I don't know what profitable means, but they make enough money for
they are
to
profitable.
Pay my bills.
I saw the car you drove in on. No, I didn't.
It's an 11-year-old Hyundai that's paid off and the paint is oxidized and
All right. I like that. I notice. I like movies where the cars are very specific. So that is a good detail to have. It's telling. It's like shoes. That's why I have the wide angle so that I see people's shoes. Tell a lot about a person on their shoes.
Yeah. Well, mine are because they're Brooks, so just to help my feet.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, I figured.
Yeah. No, I'd be wearing Chucks otherwise.
Well, I'm gonna have to be on those because I'm gonna be doing 12-hour days, I think.
Oh.
Eventually. But we won't get into that on my feet. So I'm yeah. Hopefully. And then, so then what is it now? What is the
So we decided
January projects?
Yeah. So I had a great board. Our board changed. We had an amazing president, Ellen. I was, I have perimenopausal brain, so I don't even. That was like so long ago. I can't even remember. Perry.
What is that? I know it as like sword fighting and knocking things. Wait, I've heard premenopausal, but not peri.
It's the same. Perimenopausal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, you're dodging menopause.
No, I wish.
Do you really though?
I know. Well, that's true. Everyone
Haven't
that
you
I've talked
earned
to said, just wait till you get to the other side. It is heaven.
Yeah. So. Oh my God. You just get to live like a dude after that. I'm sorry. I've derailed the conversation. I can do that sometimes with the giggles. All right. So then, so what exactly is it that you're doing now?
So it wasn't sustainable. And I was going through a lot. I dealt with kidney cancer 2 or 3 years ago.
Sorry, yeah.
So, luckily it's gone. And
you still got 2 left?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I had the cancer removed, just not the kidneys.
Good.
Thankfully. But yeah, exactly.
Knocking on
I'm going for an MRI next week, another one to check. So we'll see. But, I was dealing with a lot of stuff and and I'm an idea person. I have these ideas and I kind of just run with them. And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. The idea about January Arts, taking it in different directions. And then I just realized, what if we made like Art and Cake the nonprofit? Because we were talking about a niche. We needed a niche. And art journalism, there isn't much out there. I mean, there's, we have our art magazines, Artillery and Carla and Art Now LA, and there's a few others, Diversions LA, and the major national ones, Hyperallergic, but there isn't, it's 13 Things LA. Shayna started that because LA Weekly, closed. So we need more.
LA Weekly's gone?
Well, their art section, they minimized. They went down. So
it's gone as a resource to our community.
Basically, yes. And my focus is always on the marginalized communities, the underserved, the artists that aren't in galleries, that, are doing amazing things that aren't talked about all the time. And so I wanted to, so Art and Cake, I thought, why don't we, make Art and Cake the nonprofit? And so because we had January Arts, where, we were thinking we can use January Arts as the publisher of Art and Cake. Mm-hmm. That way we could get donations and we could amp up Art and Cake, hire more writers, do more articles, get out there more, because it's just me. Yeah. And, and I was, I've, over the years since Art and Cake's been going, I would pay writers when I could, and that would come out of my Shoebox money. So, and I don't like advertising. I don't want to be run by advertising. So it was all just
Please
for me.
Give me advertising. I'm ready to sell out.
Nope, sorry.
No, we're different people. Yeah. I like it. It takes all of us.
Yeah. But, and several people got on me about that. They're like, you need to advertise. And I'm like, no.
Wait, you don't want to advertise Shoebox?
No. I don't want advertisers.
Okay, in the magazine.
In the magazine.
Yeah.
So,
Did you get an MFA?
An MA.
An MA. Okay. What was your, we skipped a bunch of stuff as far as talking. How old were you when you first realized that you were into art? Or like, what's the earliest memories of you just like fucking around with artsy stuff and then now you look back on it and you're like, I mean, because I guess everybody starts that way, but not everybody stays with it.
Yeah.
And so there must have been an early spark that made you.
Totally. I remember when I was a toddler, of course, coloring on the walls and stuff, a lot of people did. But the problem is you'd get in trouble and they'd tell you to stop and then you wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
I'm a rebel. So,
you're an anti-capitalist.
I am, except for I want a new car. So,
I'm anti-capitalist, but I live in capitalism.
I know, exactly. But when I was in my, 6, 7 years old, my dad was a race car driver.
Okay.
And so we used to drive to the racetrack in Little Rock from Edwards Air Force Base. And we used to get Pepsis in bottles.
What did he drive? Sorry. You interested me really a lot more than you realized.
I know. At one point...
Was it a drag racing?
Yeah.
Okay.
He had a 55 Chevy Camaro, red and white. And then... before they were divorced, it was a 68 RS Camaro. So.
Did he have it? Was it like roll caged and gutted?
Yeah.
Oh, god damn.
Yeah.
So sexy.
If you are interested, Saturday, 18th Street in Santa Monica, Suzanne Lacey is doing a performance with a dragster.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
With like Top Fuel style or like with nitro and shit?
Well, that I don't know.
Because man, in Santa Monica, that would terrify people.
Yeah. I mean, it's at the complex. It's Saturday, I think, starting at 1, but it's a performance art piece.
What complex?
18th Street.
So there's a 18th Street Art Complex?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look it up, you'll find it.
All right.
I'm going to try and go, but I don't think I'll be able to, sadly. I wanted to so bad. But, so yeah, my dad was a race car driver. We used to stop and get Pepsis in bottles, and the label on the bottle was made out of foam. And so when I was done with a Pepsi, I would peel off the label, like when you peel an orange, and I would put the bits in the jar, and in the bottle, and I would call it pop art. And I mean, I remember that. I'm like, how conceptual was that when I was 6 or 7 years old?
For sure.
And so I actually recreated them. I found a couple of bottles on eBay that had Pepsi in them still. And I got 2 of them and I recreated them. I didn't drink the Pepsi. But, it was so fascinating because the bottles are tiny. They're like 10 ounces.
Wow.
So, when I was a kid, they were bigger.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but I have those now as like a...
10 ounces is that small? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. It's just my mom has been drinking these like really tiny mini cans of beer.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so funny because it's just one glass. But I guess that's smaller. I think those are probably like 5 fluid ounces. But
yeah.
That's hilarious.
So that was kind of the first time.
Are you still like a conceptual artist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's your main practice?
I do a lot of different things.
Okay. Do you paint?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's a conceptual
I'm an
art.
abstract painter also.
Yeah. I mean,
so,
I'm also a conceptual artist.
But no, I cut up my paintings.
Okay.
Like I peeled the jars. I cut up my paintings. I shredded 52 years of my history.
Oh,
That's
wow.
one of the recent things I've done.
That sounds like a healthy ritual.
I know. It kind of was.
No, I'm not being ironic.
No,
I
know.
Fuck all that. I'm new.
Yep. I didn't want to continue carrying all that stuff around with me.
Yeah.
You know?
Was it all art stuff or was it also like just garbage?
Journals, calendars, report cards from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Family photos.
Don't let the feds get their hands on your journals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I used to save them thinking, later on down the line when somebody writes a biography about my life, they're going to want to read all those. And I'm like...
And then cringe.
I know.
I thought you were saying, I'm going to look back. And that was what I was going to say too. But
no, they're going to make a movie.
yeah. No, dude, I've also done that. And I'm like, and now I journal. I'm just like, journal out the anger. I'm not like philosophic or anything. I'm like, I'm pissed at this person. And then I'm like, go.
Mine was like anxiety, depression, all of that. My eating disorder.
Oh,
I would talk a lot about that. So
wow. Well, okay. So then, so where did you get your MA? Why not an MFA?
So I got my bachelor's in art history.
Okay.
And then I was going for my master's in art history. I got my AA at Antelope Valley College. And it's so cool that my professor, Cynthia Manette, was my professor there. And she's the one who introduced me to the brewery. And this was like in 1997. Wow. And so she told us about the art walk. So I came to the art walk and of course fell in love. And I'm like, I want to live there so bad. And, but I had a long way to go. I was like, I don't know, in my mid-20s, I guess. I was bad with money. I was working 2 or 3 jobs. I was going to the junior college, not knowing what I wanted to do with my life. And then, but I realized I wanted to be an artist. But I didn't want to be a starving artist. So I started taking all the art history classes so I could teach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so,
is it less competitive for art history than it is for because like
probably.
Yeah. I would imagine that makes sense.
Yeah.
Felt intuitively like that might be the case.
Yeah. Plus, I loved learning about art history. My first art history professor, Maggie Lee, if it wasn't for her, like inspiring me, talking about what art is and where it came from and how important it is, I don't know if I would have gone on. If it was like, some boring subject or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But so after that, I'm like, I want to do this. So I took, painting and drawing, and I took advanced painting and advanced drawing, and all of the classes I could. I took extra classes.
So you were taking the studio classes just like as electives, or I guess they require them from art histories.
Yeah. Anyway. They do require them, but I would still take more than I needed.
I ended up with a lot of credits that I didn't need.
So I took all of the classes that I could and that I needed to transfer to Cal State Northridge, where I went and got my bachelor's degree. And so I got my bachelor's in 2 years, and then I transferred to art history for my master's. So, but I was still living up in Lancaster, and I was commuting, and I was working full time. And so I was going to school part-time, like twice a week. And it took me 5 years, to do the art history thing. And I realized I finished all of my coursework. I took more classes than I needed. I was a graduate assistant, a teaching assistant.
Wait, that was for your BA or your MA?
For MA. My MA
was 5
in
years?
art history. Yeah, because
because you had to.
It out.
Okay, yeah. I was like, that's a crazy intense program.
No. I stretched it out.
Yeah.
I was living off of student loans while I was working full time, and let's see what happened. I realized, because I was also an artist, I had also been painting. I had 2 years left of getting student loans, and I didn't want to waste that. I wanted to use that, and so I transferred to the studio art program at Cal State Northridge. And so the last 2 years I finished painting, quote painting, but my professor at the time, Samantha Fields, who is another amazing mentor, I was working in Second Life. I don't know if you're familiar. Yeah.
Early 90s early 2000s nerd shit.
My aunt and uncle, who are they're geeks, but they're like old hippie geeks.
And for people that don't know, Second Life, because there's kids listening probably, or people in their 20s, that was like the metaverse, essentially without VR goggles.
Yeah.
They
came.
Yeah. Oh, they did have the VR?
Yeah, eventually.
Oh, and then but it was like you could just build random shit there, and sometimes you would go and it was like weird.
Everything was made by a creator, by the people that were in it.
In the community, yeah.
It was great for artists, for musicians.
It's kind of like if without it being blocky, but like, like
Kind of
Minecrafty, element to the world building thing. Yeah.
Exactly. My aunt and uncle read about it in Spin magazine,
Mm-hmm.
and that musicians were streaming concerts from their home.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, yep. And so they went in to check it out, and they're like, Tina, that's my nickname, my family name. They're like, Tina, you need to check this out. We met an artist in real life. I mean, real life. And they're doing a mural for our virtual house and, all of this stuff. And so I went in and
Your parents were cool as shit, dude.
These are my aunt and uncle.
Aunt and uncle. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. They were. I mean, they were.
Fucking hip as shit, man.
And so I went in and like I created an avatar that was my ideal self, and tall, blonde, thin, and
How tall? How tall did you give yourself?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, like 5'10", something like that.
Okay, that's reasonable.
I mean, I'm
you didn't
5'3", so
you didn't get greedy and go like, I'm gonna tower over everyone.
No. And I uploaded a lot of my paintings into Second Life, and I started showing in virtual galleries.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know. And I was curating shows. I was the chairperson for a Muscular Dystrophy Association auction that we had where we raised money, real money, for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. I sold real paintings through people who saw my work in Second Life. And
how did you digitize that stuff? You just recreated it with like the tools, or you photographed and imported?
Yeah, I just photographed.
You could do that?
Uploaded a JPEG. Yep.
Okay.
That was it.
I'm still like thinking of it like it's GeoBeats or Neopets.
No, it's much more than that.
GeoBeats is the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I did several projects in Second Life. I did one called 1,000 Avatars that ended up being 2,000, where I photographed. I took portraits of avatars because I wanted to show that you could be anybody. I met so many friends who came out in Second Life, because they felt free.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah. I did not know that. And
yes.
Back then it would have been a bigger deal too.
Exactly.
What year, around what year?
I joined in 2006.
Okay, yeah.
So, and my avatar's still in there. I
so
go in there
like
occasionally.
Only 20 years ago.
I know.
It still fucks with me that the early 2000s are like that.
Yep. So I showed Second Life to the MA professor, the painting.
It's crazy that Second Life is 20 years ago.
I know. At least it started 2003. So
yeah. Sorry, but, I'm like this has really stimulated my mind and brought me back to a place where the internet was like good.
I don't want to go back to MySpace. Although, I don't know, it may be better than Facebook right now. So
it was less sinister.
I know. That is true. That is true.
More fun. What was your? Sorry, we're derailing this. But what was your MySpace? Mine was Old Dirty Hobby.
I think I used my name.
I was young at the time. I know. It would be weird for me to be Old Dirty Hobby now.
Because as an artist, I always felt I wanted people to know my name.
Okay.
So I wasn't afraid. I wasn't. My avatar in Second Life, her name was Gracie Kendall. So she had a different name.
Also can learn a lot about people.
I know. Yeah. So my professor who I was talking to about the painting program, I showed her Second Life, and she let me into the program because of what I was doing in Second Life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But it makes sense, though. I mean, it still is kind of, you're in a conceptual... You were grasping things that maybe someone who wasn't doing that and just painting wouldn't, especially, I'm guessing you went to school around the same time that I did. It sounds like it. Yeah.
I graduated in 2010.
Yeah.
So
same. Yeah. I didn't get I didn't get 2 degrees and do it, but I spent a lot of time in community college and then graduated.
10 years.
You spent 10 years in community college? 10 years
at community college.
Fuck, man, you're making me not so embarrassed. No, I think I did probably around that to just finish my BFA. I think. I don't remember. It wasn't fun.
Yeah.
I didn't have the best college experience. But cool. So then, like, where are you at? Is there any way that you're being able to include the mentorship element into what you're doing now with the January projects and calendar? Like, how did you what's the word? Not rectify, fuck.
Coalesce,
Yeah,
commingle. I don't know what
yeah.
it is.
How did those evolve into each other? How did they merge? I mean, obviously, one was it has the mission for mentorship, because you seem like you're pretty mentorious, if that's a word.
Thank you.
From your Instagram profile and stuff.
Yeah.
And from the people that are always like, hey.
I love mentoring. It's so that has always stayed with me. Right now, the way it stands, we are actually changing the name January Arts to Art and Cake. So we are making Art and Cake solely nonprofit. So that way, because it's confusing for a lot of people, including me. So Shoebox is remaining Shoebox, a profit company. The mentorship company, the PR company, that's all remaining profit.
Oh, so then the mentorship went to the Shoebox.
It went back to Shoebox.
Back to Shoebox. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So January
it's good to
Arts,
figure out how to compartmentalize things in these structures,
it's taken a while.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's like trial and error. It's, I tell my artists, you have to be flexible, you have to pivot.
Yeah.
Things happen, and I'm all about change.
I used to say that I wanted this to be a Patreon only, and then I talked to someone, and they were like, "No one cares." But that's different. That's different because this is a format that a lot of people advertise on, so it wouldn't stand out if I was like, But I'm. It's a different. But yeah, like, and then when that person said that, I was like, oh yeah, and now I just have to get a lot of listeners.
There you go.
But yeah, no, I mean, this is an interesting conversation, I think, because I think especially younger people don't realize how much they're gonna. Like I remember when I used to coach kids, and they were like, they eventually became adults and followed me on Facebook, and I was like, and they were like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I was like, oh yeah, I figured it out. Yeah,
it took me a long time, and there's a part of me like I wanted to be an architect for a while, but I hate math.
Yeah,
and so that wasn't going to work. And there's some regrets, but it's just the way my life worked out.
Yeah,
I was young. I was not good with money. I needed to work 2 or 3 jobs, and I still went to school and figured things out, and it took a little longer. And
yeah.
But I don't regret where I am now. So
well, I also think the mentorship part of it is important because, like, I mean, there's like emotional support and that kind and creative mentorship, but there's not a lot of career mentorship in the art world. There, like, that's kind of, we're speaking about pivoting.
Yeah.
As soon as I could start booking gallerists, because I'd been doing this long enough that they were curious about the show and they saw the proof of concept, the clips were out there. I wasn't a fucking weirdo. I wasn't trying to get, it's a funny thing. I'm an artist, but like, most of what people feel me wanting from them is an interview.
Yeah.
That's like, that's my ulterior motive.
Well, support begets support. I mean,
yeah.
I totally believe that.
Yeah, but I'm also saying that I've stumbled through podcasting. Like I think that I feel kinship in that, and it's a collaborative project as well. One of the things that early on, Mika, you might know Mika.
Mika Cho?
Mika. I don't remember the last name. He's Latino, or they're Latino. Part of Harvest and Gather.
I don't think so.
They do stuff up here sometimes in San Pedro with OPAF. But
okay.
They were saying that, like, they pointed out when they appeared on the show that, like, when I invited them on, I was putting them with the canon and the, it was an interesting idea. And so now when I book people, I'm like, I'm helping my friends. I'm helping my past guests. You know, like when I booked Ever, I'm like, ooh, everybody's profile just went up a bit by being on this podcast. You know what I mean?
Yep. I try to think that with Art and Cake.
Yeah.
You know, and just another way to support artists and, you know, I mean, getting them out there no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing.
And they really need help. And like, I think what's been great is just as like I'm learning, and then by that process, other people are getting stuff out of it, which is great for me because like it's better than going into debt for me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I just ended up deciding that like early on, I was like, I'm friends with all these fools that teach these programs. I could just interview them and then, you know, have them critique my work and stuff, you know, instead of like, especially nowadays, I feel like I've heard that crits in art school are kind of tough because kids are they weren't raised by Gen X and boomers. So they're not as thick skinned. They were raised by millennials.
It's always been that way. I mean, you know, you learn, that's what grad school does, is it teaches you to build a thick skin.
Oh yeah,
you know.
I don't think it does that anymore. I think it teaches professors to have a thick skin and be worried and terrified every fucking waking second that they're gonna get canceled. That's just me though. Well, cool. So then let's go a little bit into your art practice itself. Also, I skipped this question. I also like, I think it opens up, like, was there a moment, you kind of glossed over it and addressed it a little bit, but was there a moment or a thing that happened that you were like, oh, fuck, I'm an artist? Like, because I feel like it's either you've come from an environment where like it doesn't get a lot of support, and then or there's also the realization I'm probably not going to be making the most amount of money out of my whole, you know, graduating class in high school, and then there's also the like, if I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to be happy. Was there a moment where you were like, oh fuck?
You know, not really. I mean, in terms of, I knew I was an artist. I think probably my very first painting class, which was with Cynthia Manette, we had the list of art materials. And like I went to the bookstore, and which they had, you know, an art department there, and I started like, you know, buying the art supplies, and I had my big portfolio to carry, and you know, with the backboard in there, the clipboard thing, and I can't think of what it's called now. You know, and I bought paint brushes, and then I went to Michael's because that's all we had in Lancaster at the time, but they had an art department. So I was able to buy, you know, paint and all of that stuff. And I came home and I already had a drafting table. So I was able to like set up a little studio, and I'm like, I'm an artist.
Wow.
It was just like,
wow, that's amazing.
But this is also while I worked in the medical field. Because that was like my main job.
What were you doing in the medical field?
Receptionist, billing, claims. My final job in the medical field, I was like the unit clerk of an emergency room.
Oh,
so
wow.
A trauma center up in the valley, Holy Cross. And I worked there for 8 years while I was working on my master's at Sane. And it was, you know, great. I had benefits. I worked 3 12-hour shifts. So I could do art the other days, but it wasn't, you know, my dream job. It was to pay the bills, to give me insurance.
How were those 12-hour days?
I loved them.
Okay.
I mean, you know, they were long, but I loved them because you got done. I mean, that was it.
I know, it sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah. But you know, so I was juggling working in medical while going to school, while being an artist, all of this stuff. So
you never felt like the other part of deciding that I was an artist for me was like, it's also like a heavy title. It's almost like it's almost like, am I an artist? Am I good enough to be an artist? You never had that?
I mean, I think I still have that every day.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. But it's never been a question of am I or am I not this identity. The question is, am I good? I think I had a challenge of like, you know, of like, can I say that I'm an artist? You know?
Yeah.
That was my hesitation.
Yeah. I never had that. Some of my artists have.
Yeah.
And I know people who have. I had a friend who swore she wasn't an artist. She was just a painter.
I guess
And
it's like an imposter syndrome thing that I struggled with now that I put a label on it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound like you had it. Yeah.
I mean, well, I still have it.
Yeah, but you were never shy about. You never felt weird. It was always comfortable being like, I'm an artist, and introducing yourself as that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because I finally felt like I belonged somewhere.
Okay, that's good.
And so that was important for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's very, very cool. So then what you described cutting out your paintings a little bit. Tell me a little bit more about that. Tell me more about like motifs and conceptual conceits section of the podcast.
Yeah. So gosh, I just realized, and this is something I talk to my artists about. Sometimes you don't know why you do what you do. It comes
until it gets there, and then you're like, these were fucking nightmare to get there.
Yeah, but even then, like 10 years after I started doing it, last week I'm like, that's why I started doing that.
Yeah.
It was just I was driving, and so I was driving on the 134, and I saw the Colorado Bridge, the Colorado Boulevard Bridge, Suicide Bridge. And I forgot. You've never heard that? It's called Suicide Bridge.
Episode takes 8. Well, YouTube, we call it the self-deletion bridge. I think we're fine.
Oh, yeah. You can edit that part out.
No. We'll leave it in. I'm not even monetized. So when that becomes a problem, then I'll start worrying about it. But no, it's just funny, like how harsh that word has become since people started saying self-deletion. And then the other thing that's weird is like now I get creeped out when I download a PDF file because they use that as a filler word for pedo.
Oh.
Yeah.
I never heard that. And I've actually never heard self-deletion.
Oh, you don't watch a lot of YouTube.
Oh,
it's
no.
exclusively that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay.
Suicide Bridge.
Yes. So I was driving and I saw the bridge and I was reminded I had painted mannequins in my style of painting to match my avatar from Second Life. So coming back around. Because I wanted to bring the avatars from the virtual into the real, this hybrid mixed reality thing. And so I painted like 9 or 10, and they were in shows, and I used to take them places and take photos of them. Like I took one up to San Francisco. I took like all over taking pictures.
I just love the shit artists. Like I just picturing people watching you take was it in a bag or did you buy it a seat? the mannequin when you flew it up
in my car.
You drove. Oh, that's
drove.
less exciting.
Yeah, sorry, I drove. But when I was, I had taken it down to like the Arroyo
Seco.
Yeah, Arroyo Seco, to like get a picture of it with the bridge in the background. This was years ago. And she fell over and the hand fell off. And I'm like, oh my God. And so at the time, I played around with it. I had two mannequins with me. And like, I took the hand from that one and put it on the head of the other, took pictures and stuff like that. But and I think I ended up replacing it, or I don't know what I did. But it occurred to me that like I'm a messy painter. I am like, I don't take care of my paintings. I mean, I'm not like one of those, I'm not like OCD about it, or I'm not a perfectionist. I put tape around the edges. I still get paint on the edges. You're giving me spaghetti on my, on my shirt. That's just who I am. And I have learned to realize over the years as I get older, that is just who I am and what I do. So I realized I started cutting up my paintings also because there was another painting that I poked a hole in.
Oh, okay.
That was on canvas, stretcher bars, and the whole bit. And so I had these paintings that were great otherwise. And one day, I know what it was. And this was like, well, I don't even remember the timeline. That's like my whole thing. I don't remember. But I started cutting up one day I decided to cut all of my paintings off the stretcher bars.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like 42 paintings.
And you mean literally you cut it?
Yep.
Not
with a box cutter.
With a box cutter, not
off the stretcher bars. Yep. I didn't even take the the staples out or anything. And so so I had them flat, and part of it was storage, I think. Part of it, they're acrylic, so but there was just something, I get an idea and it's like I'm impulsive. I mean, I'm very impulsive. And so so I cut them off the stretcher bars. And actually it was part of the whole Second Life thing, because I had made my painting a skin on my avatar in Second Life. So so I wanted to make them as skins in real life, and I put them on hangers. And so that was part of it. And I did that for a little while. I showed those.
That kind of ties into the mannequin.
Yeah, totally. And then
paintings personified.
Yeah. Yep. And then like the next time I decided to cut them into 12 by 12 inch squares. Most of them were square already because I loved painting on square canvas or panel. And so most of them, I cut them into 12 by 12 inch panels, and I made a sculpture of the, pile of paintings.
Oh, wow.
And so, that I have. And
was there armature or just with the pieces?
Just the pieces.
How
Eventually, I put them on a chair.
Oh, okay.
Eventually, they were sitting on an antique chair. So, but just the pieces. And actually, well, so, I mean, this is, again, the timeline's all over the place.
That's fine.
I started, let's see, I used to cut up the drop cloth, the drop cloths when I was painting the mannequins, because they were like these beautiful abstract paintings in themselves. I would cut them up into like 4 by 6 inch pieces and sell them.
Oh, wow.
At like the Art Walk. And so, and I, get IKEA
Which one, downtown?
frames. No, the brewery.
Oh, that's right.
Have you ever been
to the Art Walk? I think I went once. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are the next ones April 25th and 26th?
Cool.
Put it on your calendar.
We're neighbors. We're gonna be homies. I mean, I'm already muscling my way into your life.
I know. I know.
I'm like, nah. I have a new friend, new climbing buddy, new art friend, bro. You're like, you fucked.
And I'm an introvert, so we'll see how far that goes. But I was cutting up the drop cloths, and I had a bunch of those, and over the years I did different installations with them, and then just the last couple of years I started cutting them into these triangle pieces, and I did a wall installation of just the triangles, filling up the whole wall.
Oh, wow.
Of just the cut up triangles. So I had those. I had a bunch of paintings that were on panels. I took to a friend at the brewery who's a woodworker, and she cut up all those. And so I have those in pieces, and I put D-rings on the back, and so I hang those in an installation on the wall. And then I cut up all of they were 12 by 12 inch squares. That was the one sculpture. I cut up all of those into smaller pieces. And so that's like one of my most recent works. It's this huge wall installation that is that just fills the wall with layers and layers and layers of this cut up work. And it's kind of I don't know, it's like metamorphosis. I don't know. Sometimes I was thinking about it like during the fires. Is it like the phoenix rising through the ashes? I don't know what it is. It's just change is like just ingrained in me as an art practice somehow. So,
well, there's the modality of working is interesting. I started these because I started these drawings. You guys that are listening can't hear them, but if you've seen my work on my Instagram, it's the ones that look like buildings that are kind of optical illusion-y. The optical illusion started because I wanted to get this line and not really be able to know where it came from, or just like make decisions that determine the line without really seeing the line.
yeah.
So I find those ideas interesting. They like it's working with a specific parameter, especially when you're working with abstraction. Do you know Jenna Horowitz's work?
I don't think so.
She's pretty famous in LA. Anyway, there's a lot of people that do really interesting like drawing work, and I think that even when I'm painting, I'm drawing, right? the other day, thinking about things that click in your head, I was like, Clement Greenberg couldn't shit on this because you can't do this. You couldn't sculpt these, right? So, you know how his whole thing was like, you can only do what you can do with painting.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
so I was like, oh yeah, I guess this is something you could only do with painting. I think he would fucking hate it.
I don't know. I can see those made into sculptures, so.
Yeah, but they wouldn't, they wouldn't, I mean, you can't have the effect of things falling flat and falling in the foreground and all of that is drawing illusion.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Do you know Mickey Tong?
No.
He had a studio at Keystone. He ran Idlewild Gallery. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I think I've heard of Idlewild.
Yeah, follow him on Instagram. He'll just trace a cup with a pen. He'll trace the chords with a pen, and then he'll create drawings out of those.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
Yeah. I think it's fun to just kind of. I think we work in a sort of similar way in the sense of being like it sounds like you're not so much interested in the traditions of paintings as you are the materials, and you've gotten into that weird space of it's a conceptual figurative work, where you're making the paintings in some cases the figure, and not all cases, but
totally.
when you were hanging them and stuff, it's interesting. I think that we're probably from the same generation of art school, especially if you graduated in 2010.
Yeah.
I graduated 2007.
Yeah.
So it's around that that fad.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is I applied for a grant and with a new project where I would create panels that are my height and width.
Mm-hmm.
And I would include the cutout paintings on that,
Right.
in a certain way. So talking about the body,
Yeah.
conceptualizing the body in that way. But also I conceptualize my own body in other ways. I have my collaborative art project Perceive Me, which is a whole other thing where I'm the curator, the organizer, the artist, the producer, and I invited artists who are figurative artists to paint, draw, photograph, sculpt, videotape me nude. And it's all about body image. It's all about perception, about body liberation. The idea that oftentimes our self-worth comes from how others see us. And, and it's so true. I've been working on it since 2018. And it's going to be at the Startup Art Fair, February 27th through March 1st in Venice Beach.
Oh, okay.
And so, and yeah, it's, conceptualizing, it's all about collaboration, which I'm very much into.
Yeah, and I haven't asked you this directly, but it feels like we've covered some of that.
Yeah, totally.
That was her topic for today.
Which we're just getting there now, but that's okay.
No,
that's okay.
but we covered some of that.
Yeah.
Actually, you just said something before I take you away from that. I think it might be more productive. I was like, oh shit, I've talked to you for 54 minutes and I haven't asked you about grant writing, but I'm going to hold off, and I think I'm going to try to have a panel of you, maybe Pernay Reddy from LA Art Corps.
I love Pernay.
And then do you know anybody else that would be good at that? We can talk about this off air, but I just want to let the listener know that I'm not being negligent. I am planning on having a more specific conversation about a grant writing, because I think that's an important one. I think
Linda Vallejo.
Yeah.
Look at Linda Vallejo.
She's somebody that is good at grant writing.
She teaches a grant writing class.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well then.
And she's an amazing artist also.
I'll have to have her on the show individually, and then also try to get that panel together, because I think that's another thing. Bro, they can't even teach you that in college. They don't teach you the business, but they can't even teach you grant writing. Yeah. Fuck, man. God damn, I'm so glad my school is all paid off. Was all paid for by the UN.
Mine isn't.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel like I've just rubbed it in.
That's okay.
Okay, so then tell me a little bit more about the collaborative. I have my thoughts obviously on it. I'm pretty open about what I think. I like to lead sometimes so that people feel comfortable. But it is a challenge. it is rewarding. Not everybody's capable of doing it.
You mean collaboration in general?
Yeah, collaboration in general.
Yeah.
You know, like even the basics of just having someone come on the podcast, telling them up front, you get to decide everything you want to talk about, telling them, I will cut out anything that you have a problem with, still has a problem.
Yeah.
So that's just the pitfalls. And I was telling you off the air, I was like, I'm trying to not get sucked into bitching about those things, because I feel like in the art world there's a lot of that, and I think that that is something that hinders collaboration. So on my end, I want to not do it as much and just be like, this fucking sucks. Meanwhile, I've been doing it for 6 years.
Yeah.
I've been almost doing it for 10. 2018, 2017, we're at 20. Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I have grown through the process of collaborating and understanding people's, first of all, just even understanding what I'm asking people to do and why they freak out, you know, and stuff like that. So the collaborative part is super rewarding in the long run, because now I have this reputation where people respect me because they've seen me talk to people that are smart. I don't have an MFA, and I don't ever feel like that's a problem, you know, in the art community. No one and it's just because I show that I can talk about art, you know.
Yeah.
But tell me about how collaboration fits in your situation, because you're working with people that already have somewhat of a career. Sometimes, you know, they might have galleries and stuff, and I think that if that's like there's a screening process that happens if you're working with people that are already there, you know. Like, I found that the more successful professional people I have on the podcast, the easier my life has gotten. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. I don't think of it in those terms, though. You're
much more positive than me.
A friend of mine said I'm toxic. I have toxic positivity.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and it's bothering me.
For me, you know, the collaboration is about connection. So it's also about like lifting others up. It's, you know, bringing, like, connecting people together. Perceive Me is all about me collaborating with other artists, but it's other artists who may not have had an opportunity like this, who are creating things like this for the first time.
Creating what?
You know,
like a project, like a podcast type thing? Or what do you mean?
No, what they're doing is creating a piece of art about me. Okay. That's part of my
the
project.
Perceive Me part. Yeah. Okay,
yeah. So for Perceive Me. And Perceive Me is its own project. Like, it is, you know, we've shown in 5 different locations already. You know, it's going to travel. I'm hoping it gets picked up by a museum one day, the whole project itself. I'm also doing nude portrait sessions now, where anybody from the public can sign up to pose nude for professional artists. And I've done it twice.
Okay. I'm already? Like, sign me up.
Come to the Startup Art Fair.
I don't want to I want to be a drawer.
Oh, and you know, that
wasn't me super excited about getting naked.
I saw your drawing. You could definitely sign up to be a drawer. I mean, we're full up this time, but for the future.
But I know somebody. Now watch me be all LA.
I know. No. See, nope, that doesn't matter.
She's not a sellout, guys. She's not a sellout. I can't corrupt my capitalist.
I'm equal opportunity. But Call and Response is my big collaboration project. And that's part of Shoebox. Okay. I started that in 2020 during the pandemic. And my team at the time, I had a couple of employees working with me with Shoebox. We sat down and we're like, how can we keep artists sane, or as sane as possible during this time, connected, creating art? Because some of my artists were like, I don't know what to do. I'm so stressed. I'm depressed. I'm anxious. I'm, you know, all of this. And so we created a project called Call and Response, where I pair up artists randomly, and it's international. And so they create a work of art digitally and then send it to their partner. They have 24 hours. Create a work of art, send it to their partner. Their partner has 24 hours to create a work of art in response and send it back. And then they just respond to each other for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then at the end, they send me all the images and we have an online exhibition. And
Oh,
so
cool.
we've done 23 rounds so far. And call and response, we're going physical. So the first time we're actually doing a physical show. And I paired up 190 artists. So it started out with 190. It's down to 150 now. But so 75 books total. They're making art books together.
Okay.
I got an art book from a pair from India and the United Arab Emirates. They sent it to me. It got here. Somebody in Germany with somebody in Africa. I mean, it's amazing. So that, kind of going back to, we were talking about collaboration and how it works and how it doesn't work. I have, that's why we're down from 190 to 150 because it didn't work for a lot of people and people got busy. Totally understandable. It happens. And some partners just didn't mesh and that happens too. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's how you learn. So I repaired some of those people up. One partnership I repaired up, they meshed so well, like they've become great friends.
Yeah.
And that is why I do it.
Yeah.
That is, yes, there are people that are going to complain about it, but it's, there may be 5 people that complain, but the one partnership that tells me, oh my God, we've met. One of my partnerships, somebody from Germany came out and met her partner in LA and they worked on the book together.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, and I did that. And I'm like, that alone is success. And I'm not going to say Trump's that, that like covers, I mean, that's everything.
Don't let him steal a word.
I know. Exactly. Exactly. But I believe I'm connecting these people from all over the world who are now friends who are artists, who are sharing ideas, who are supporting each other. And that's how we thrive.
Yeah.
That's how we build a sustainable art world.
No, yeah. I mean, I think for me, the thing that is really rewarding is like since early on, I've had people get opportunities because they heard. And at one point I was like, well, what about my opportunity? But I've gotten past that. I think I've had, no, well, I think I'm not gonna lie that I am a bad human. Okay. I don't want to ever get caught out 20 years from now where people are like, no, he told us. He told us he had no morals. No, I'm kidding. I have morals. But yeah, no, I think that what I like about doing it is, first of all, like people do get excited about it. People do get heard or seen, like I have a couple of people that are regular listeners that I'm not going to out them because I don't want, but like but I've had people show me that they like listened to, they were like in my 0.02% on Spotify. And I was like, oh shit, and like how many hours. And that to me is mind blowing because I don't experience that directly, but like when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, like people are, it doesn't always feel like people are listening. You know what I mean? And then but that happens. And then like, I went to Elmer's show here at Charlie James. Mm-hmm. And him and Tita Whitney were both like, yeah, people were telling me that they heard they heard my interview. And I was like, so like people I don't know listen to me, yep. Which is a trip, and I think that, I think originally my main objective was to get the chip off my shoulder about not having an MFA. And like, I've gotten so beyond that, like, that like, I have no regrets, all it took was talking to someone once a week. It's a lot easier than fucking going to grad school, Yeah. But yeah, it's been rewarding. Now I have a big community and sometimes people hear about each other. I would imagine that I'm not trying to be like grandiose, but the idea of someone coming up to Tita Whitney and being like, hey, I heard you, like, you know, like now someone has an idea of what her, because we talked a lot about business and how like business savvy she is and all of that. Like,
Yeah.
that's really interesting. When I have Elmer on, it's a different story, and it's awesome that people get to hear them. You know, to me, that's really exciting because these are valuable artists.
Yeah.
You know, valuable resource communities that know things that people should learn, because ain't nobody. You can't pay someone to teach you that. That blows my mind. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's the new thrust of this. Just like, in fact, I think that this year is starting off with a lot of like spaces. Like I had Ever. I think Stephanie is up now. The next one is Franny Hemelgarn, who does the DMST Atelier.
Yes.
And then
they were at the brewery for a little while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, they've been at a lot of different spots.
Yeah.
And then you know, and then so that's like 3 or 4 right there.
Yeah.
And then even as the year was closing out, I had a couple people, but it's interesting. Like, I'm interested in this shit, and I get to learn. So it's like, you know.
Marketing suggestion.
Yeah.
When you post on Instagram, invite them as a collaborator.
Oh yeah, that I've been doing.
Okay.
On the reels,
see.
on the reels, I post like 8 reels.
You can invite them, and they may say no. I mean,
that feels tedious. I you know like that.
Invite them on some.
Yeah,
because that will get you more. I mean, don't publish this, but that will get you more viewers.
Yeah. Well, what I do is I have a slide post, a carousel post, and that one is usually the one that I do that with.
Gotcha.
Because, you know, but like little thing I enjoy the least is the promotion.
I know.
The thing that's like the that's the vegetables.
Yep. Totally.
But yeah, no, I think doing these projects are rewarding. I want to encourage people to take them on. You know, I think it's stressful. It's a pain in the ass. You're going to have a bad time sometimes, but you're going to metamorphosize.
You're going to learn. It's education.
I'm a better human being than when I started.
Yeah.
I literally am, you know, I'm a better listener, even though I'm interrupting you right now. But go ahead.
No, for call and response, I've heard from so many artists, and I've worked with over 500 now, between all the rounds of call and response.
Yeah.
That like they tried new media, they tried new techniques, they tried using new materials, new, you know, processes, and all of this, because they could experiment, and then it changed their practice.
Nice.
It's like, so anytime you can experiment and play, and, you know, and collaboration, you know, I have friends in Durden and Ray, the art collective at the Bendix building. They just like collaborated with artists in London, and they've had exhibitions, and like my friends were just there, and, you know, seeing what comes out of these amazing partnerships, you know, when like 2 minds come together, and, you know, it's really, really beautiful.
Oh yeah. I mean, just look at, what's her name and what's his name? Hagop and Stephanie, like they're just nonstop. Yeah. I think collaboration's a very interesting. I mean, I should also point out that this started as a 2-person podcast. So, but yeah, I like that people do this shit, you know, like, and I like being around people that do this shit, which is why now you're my neighbor best friend, and you're never going to get rid of me. I'm going to be there so much. I love this bit of me just tormenting you with my friendship, just like being needy. Be my friend.
And if I don't answer, it's because I'm an introvert. Just so you know.
No. I just it's also because I see the anxiety. Like, you're laughing, but there's like it's the troll in me.
I am 52. I've never been married. I am so happy living alone, being single, going out with my friends sometimes.
Yeah. Our dynamic is amusing me on this episode. You're bringing out something in me. I'm like, you're such a positive person that I just get to be like the devil.
That's what I bring out in people.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I like that you're sunny. All right, well, let's wrap up. We're at like an hour into 10, and I've made enough of a mockery of life. What can I promote for you? Anything coming up soon?
The Startup Art Fair. It's at the Kinney Hotel, February 27th through March 1st.
Okay.
And it's really cool. Ray Beldner he's in the Bay Area. He's been doing this, I think he's done it 20 times, where you get a hotel, it's a boutique hotel, and artists get rooms.
Yeah, yeah.
And so...
Yeah, there's a Feria Clandestina in Miami during Art Basel.
Oh, okay.
They do a similar thing. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
exactly.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
I wonder what monetary benefits there are for the hotel, because I mean that's a business.
Well, I'm sure because I mean
compensation?
we have to rent the rooms. I mean
You do rent the rooms.
We paid for the rooms, which
Okay.
is more than the hotel room. So I'm sure. Yeah, I got 3 rooms this time.
Okay.
So I got a room for Perceive Me, my Perceive Me show. Next door is the Nude portrait sessions, where we're going to be drawing.
The ones I'm not invited to.
Yeah, if you show up
The
on
ones
the
I
day to
can't-
model.
The ones I can't
you-
VIP myself
I know.
into.
Not yet.
I've gotten the only fringe benefits that I get from the podcast is that people are nice to me.
Sometimes, no. Just kidding.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes.
But then across the way is call and response. So we're
Okay.
showing all the art books. So
Nice.
that's the biggest thing I've been working on. And it's like I'm not doing anything else right now until that happens. Almost nothing else. But
Yeah. Other than hanging out with your new best friend.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah, cool. And then your Instagrams, you've got like 4?
I have at Kristine Shomaker, at shoeboxarts.la. I also have at Art and Cake LA. And then I also have at Perceive Me Art and at Call and Response Art. So what's that, 5 or 6?
I don't know. I'll count them later.
Yeah.
You are getting collab.
I told
on
you.
all of those.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. I believe that's collaboration, right?
Yeah.
Invite collaborator right there.
Oh, you know what I do? And it actually has helped a lot is I just straight up tell people like, hey, please accept collaborate. And I used to just do it and then not ask, but now I ask. I think somebody or Ever was the one that was saying ask. And I think that's a good tip. Like as soon as because I used to be like, why won't they just? And then now I just ask, and then it's on them to be like, no.
Yeah. People curate their Instagram very differently.
Yeah.
That's
well,
okay.
what I tell them is, please accept it for like a little while. Once it's the traffic dies down, if you don't want it up, you're good.
That's true.
And I think that's like a thing that most people are reasonable with. Some people still. I had one lady. No, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, better not go there.
Yeah, I've been taken advantage of, and if you do that and you come on the podcast and you try to do that, just know the episode is going right off. It's being taken straight down. No episode that week, no explanation. Fuck off. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's everything I have to ask you for. I am really grateful for everybody who listened. If you guys want to like, subscribe, and share this stuff, comment, rate 5 stars, all those things are super helpful. And, it's for me. I'm not going to pretend like I don't benefit from it, but it helps our artists get more exposure too. And if we can get to that 5K, I can 5K downloads a month. I will sell out so fast, guys.
Fingers crossed.
The only thing that I won't do is gambling ads, because it breaks my heart whenever, and everything is a gambling ad now. And then if you guys really want to support us with the lovely money that you earn for your labor, that would be very appreciated. You can go to patreon.com/whatsmythesis. You get early access episodes, and you get your name on the scroll along with Tony Irons, M. Trishkovsky, Nick Lowe, Amir Zaki, Hiroshi Clark, Jackie Castillo, and Ryan. Really appreciate this stuff does add up. It's like $60 a year, so that's 60 times 7. It'll help a lot at the end of the year, even though I'm still losing money on the podcast. But we do that, right? Like, what is that craziness? And
it's an investment back into the community.
Yeah. We need to take this show on the road. All right. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, no, thank you. I mean, you're the one that's bringing all this juicy information for me to digest and share with everybody. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate your views on collaboration, even though I'm not as good a person as you. I can aspire. All right, I'm going to stop torturing you. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next guest with another week. That may or may not be art related. Yeah.